All right, so this video is just for my first movers in the R&D AI labs. If you're here in our lab, you are about to get your mind blown because in this video, I'm going to share with you why you do not need any kind of fancy tool stack to generate content. All you need is a good LLM. And I'm going to share with you 2 ways to do it with my GPT bot called Julie McCoy's SEO content blog post writer. A shout out to a couple of you. I've given this beta, just a little beta drop, and you are already developing pillar content with it, and it's working amazing. And I'm also going to share with you one of my favorite ways to develop content of all types, a custom trained Claude project. All right, so I hope you guys are sitting down because this is the freshest drop I've ever made. This is quite likely the single training video that will break possibilities and blow your mind. I'm not kidding you right now. And again, hear me when I say you do not need anything more than a single LLM to generate content that rivals the top writers and produces content that will rank at the top of Google. And by single LLM, I mean specifically Claude and ChatGPT, both of which on the Pro and the Plus subscription only cost you $25 a month for almost unlimited content output. The difference is Claude projects and the upload context is the size of a 500-word book. On ChatGPT, you are much more limited. So the data training you can do in the Claude in particular is pretty freaking amazing. So first of all, let's start with point A, which is my big, bold claim that you need nothing more than a single LLM to publish amazing content that will rank at the top of Google and perform really well. Build your brand, build huge authority. Let me prove that to you. Let's start there. Okay, so we're going to go over 2 types of content. First of all, SEO content that ranks in the top, not only of Google itself, but search generative engines. GEO, Generative Engine Optimization, is the new name of the SEO game. We are going to lose a quarter of our market share. That has been the prediction made by Gartner by the year 2026, and I predict that could happen sooner because of how good Search GPT in particular is. With much more cultivated results where I don't have to scroll and scroll and scroll to find results, but with a beautiful, clean interface like this. And also what I'm going to share with you about how ChatGPT in particular is prioritizing the right kind of results. I think we could see more market share than 25% leaving Google by 2026, which has been the prediction. I think we could see a quarter drop by as soon as the end of 2025. So that means your strategies to get your brand ahead, but also your clients' brands in the generative engines is going to be super important. And by generative engines, we mean LLMs, we mean answer engines like Perplexity, any kind of AI tool that people are using to find their answers. That's generative engines. GEO, Generative Engine Optimization versus SEO, Search Engine Optimization. So let me just show you real quick the difference between Google and ChatGPT. When we type in what is a content hacker with Search GPT enabled, look at these results. First of all, I get a bullet list, and then I've got only 2 sources. Over here on the right, which is the citations panel, I've got more sources. I see my brand ranking right here, contenthacker.com. I see my YouTube channel ranking right below it. That's on par. That's great. I want to see that. I want to see my brand show up for a major term that my brand has. Now that will change. Of course, my domain now is First Movers, and we are actually in the process of forwarding all of this content over to First Movers. So my direction going forward is going to be things like, how do I build AI-driven content strategies, right? And then I want First Movers to show up. But right now, this is where we're at. So let's go to Google. Same phrase. What is a content hacker? In the AI overviews called AIOs, this is what we see. We see a website with so-so domain authority. It's actually a hard name to say. Contentelic. And then we see below that co-schedule. And then my YouTube channel. So that's pretty interesting, right? On the blue links below AIO, we see our site ranking number 2. This is a much lower DA, but somehow they've outranked us. And I would guess anything, it's because they've got more backlinks, but that could be a quick game that they lose, right? Anything where it's a hack is just not as favorable as building for the long game. But that's an interesting observation. But see how different the results are, right? Over in the AIO, Content Hacker is really nowhere, which is weird because Content Hacker is an exact domain match for this term. So to me, the AI overviews is a lesser experience than what ChatGPT gives me. Perplexity even gives me better results than Google, because right away, whenever I search what is a content hacker, the exact match domain shows up first, which is powerful. We are actually owning the results here in Perplexity. Perplexity is an answer engine. ChatGPT is a chatbot, a generative engine, an LLM, a large language model. So that's the difference between the three. We've got good old Google. So the AI in Google is not that great. And honestly, they've missed the mark since May of 2023. So we're going on how many months past that date? And these results are still not that great. They're not pulling the true authority source for this answer into the answer, which is contenthacker.com, the biggest, baddest domain you could ever pull in for this search query. Okay, so let me show you why you don't need anything other than a single LLM to generate content that's going to rank at the top. All right, so whenever we go to this result, I'm going to pull up this blog. Right here, ranking number 2 in the citations, right below the folds. We've got search results. Citations are right here. We've got a co-schedule blog from 2018. And then right down here in the search results, the second is contenthacker.com. So if we click on that link, we have forwarded that to the first mover's domain. So that should start to show up in the generative engine. And then first movers should get more domain authority as well. But this is the same blog that was on Content Hacker. It was just updated and tweaked. Now let me show you something pretty crazy. This blog was written by a tool called Brandwell that supposedly writes undetectable high quality content. Okay, now let me show you another post that was written by ChatGPT. Let's go to the blog. And I'm going to pull up a post that was 100% written by ChatGPT. All right, so this blog post was written 100% by my GPT bot, which we're going to link to with this lesson. You can use it and immediately get content this good. So let me show you something real quick. If we drop this URL in SEMrush to see if we have any rankings starting to gather, we do. We have a couple keywords starting to pick up for this blog. Now they're very far down in the positions. That's totally fine. This is a brand new domain as of recording this video with only, it's got below 50 blogs published. The domain itself is brand new. It's 30 days old. So for it to pick up any kind of rankings is amazing. Also, for it to pick up any ranking at all, any position in Google tells me that the statement that you need more than a ChatGPT layer to write content is completely incorrect. Meaning, you can use ChatGPT to produce content and Google will rank it. Did you hear that again? Hear it again. You can use ChatGPT to produce content and Google will rank that content, but let me show you how to actually do it. All right, so just to put the cherry on top, I'm going to show you something else that's a little crazy. Originality.ai is the top content detector out there. It is a paid tool. I'm paying for it in these results I show you. I paid for these results. So let me show you something pretty crazy. All of these results, all 11 results, show up as AI. All of them. And these are posts ranking at the top of Google, and they're a mix of everything. We've got a Brandwell post here ranking 75% AI. We've got something written by Claude, 100% AI. This was written by GPT, 100% AI, 81% AI. This is a human, rated 76% AI. This is a Brandwell post, rated 80% AI. Gemini post, rated 99%. This is Google's own AI writer. So whenever you hear the statement, oh, your content has to be undetectable as AI to rank, that's complete bull crap, and I just proved it. I just proved that statement because we're looking at the top content detector out there, Originality.ai. Their only product is to tell you if your content reads human-like. That's their only product. They've also got a plagiarism checker built into that, originality checker. So it doesn't matter if your content comes out on any detector as AI generated. You can throw that in the trash can. You don't even need to check if your content is AI generated or not. Here's what you do need to do. You need to have a human proofread that content and make sure it is beautiful. So let me show you what I mean. All right, so moving on from that point, I hope that you got that. We just proved that you do not need, I'm going to say it again, you do not need an AI detector to tell you your content is human-like or not. You just need to produce human-like content with AI, and here's how you're going to do it. All right, so if you use my GPT bot, you can produce content in several ways. You can drop in a focus keyword. You can drop in the transcript of a YouTube video. It writes beautiful content from that. You can drop in the transcript of a blog, and all you need to do is say this first: write me an article for this transcript. And then paste in that whole transcript. It'll write a beautiful article. Or a focus keyword. Same thing. Write me an article for the focus keyword. And whenever you prompt, you're going to use my prompting framework. There's many different ways you can spin it. I'm not going to give you this cutesy acronym to remember. I'm just going to give you the steps. And here are the steps. First, you need a topic. Then you need personal thoughts to support that topic. If this is a thought leadership piece of content, you can actually skip that if you just want SEO content. Then you need a clear call to action. You need to describe what that call to action is. I want you to end the post with book a call. Here's my link to book a call. Please hyperlink to the statement book a call and write a CTA for it. That's how clear you're going to get. Then you're going to give specific guidance to the AI. Sometimes, even with my GPT bot, you're going to have to tell it, hey, write the article again using H2s and H3s. If it completely flops on that. Or, hey, you didn't link to the sources and the tools you mentioned. Please do that. So that's what you're going to do whenever you use GPT bots like the one I built. All right, so what I'm going to do for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm going to show you my Claude writer, which I really love, and my GPT bot for one of my recent videos. So to take the video transcript, this November. You don't need to hear me twice. To take the video transcript into the GPT bot, we need the transcript. Here's a really quick way to do that with a YouTube video. Get the GLASP Chrome add-on extension. What this extension will do is it'll show up as a little toolbar in every single YouTube video like so. You're going to get this nice little toolbar right here. If you click the down arrow, it'll start to tell you what the full transcript is. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to click Summarize Video. This triggers GPT to write a summary of that whole video, but you're not going to use the summary it writes. You can actually stop that process. You're going to go grab this transcription, which it loaded in less than a second, and you're going to drop that into the GPT bot. And let me show you how beautiful this article comes out for this video title and transcription. And we're going to give it some guidance. So we're going to say under the author, Julia McCoy. I'm going to say me. I'm the only one that can say that, by the way. No, just kidding. If you want to use my style, it's totally fine. All right. Is there anything else we wanted to say? Yes, we wanted to say end with a call to action, where you write out inviting folks to be a first mover and to book a strategy session with our team. Hyperlink the booked strategy session, CTA 2. Here's what you're going to do. Request services, okay? Grab that link, drop it in the GPT bot. Is there anything else we want to add? This is where you need to stop, take a second, and think, because the content will come out so much better. No. We have a full transcript. We have tons and tons of details. We know we're going to get a great article from this. Bam, here we go. That's a great headline. That's interesting. It gave us timestamps with key highlights. Huh. Okay, so something that it didn't do that well is it just wrote call to action. Okay, so what we're going to do, I do like how it specifically said book of strategy session, but let me see if I can get it to be less cutesy and more full article. I do like how it gave us timestamps as the H3s and summarized the content. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, I like that a lot better. I actually really like that. So now, at this point, I've got enough to go into the blog and go ahead and start to create a full piece of content. Now, I'm not going to click this copy button. I actually like copying it straight from the web page in the chatbot results. So I need my WordPress blog. So we're going to go to the back end of the WordPress blog, and we're going to start loading this piece of content in. Now, I showed you that one of these articles written with my GPT bot is already starting to pick up some rankings in Google. And let me tell you something, that article was almost straight out of my GPT bot. Like, we barely did any editing, which is insanity. Insanity. So what you want to do is get a featured image. Very important. And you want to use a keyword for that featured image. So since I've already done a lot of keyword research for my site, I'm going to go with the keyword AGI by 2025. So we're going to start to optimize the whole article for that. Now, I use Rank Math. You might use Yoast. You might use some other plugin, or maybe you just use a native website builder that doesn't have one. Just make sure you can put in a focus keyword, and if you can see a score, that's ideal. I can with Rank Math. All right, so I know that the score is 51. I need to bump that up a few more times. So let me make sure that this is an H2. It is not. It's an H3. So we're going to add it in here by 2025. See how we just neatly added that in? That bam, that bumped it up to 61 right there. We're going to make sure this is an H2. Nope, it's not. See, this is where AI gets a little funky-dory. You got to make sure you're proofing it by eye, but look how much time I'm saving, and I'm getting good content. We're going to add a question mark there. We want this to sound and read well. Engaging content, not undetectable content, engaging content. Okay, we're going to add that keyword again right here, AGI by 2025. I like this ending. That's super good. We're going to drop in that keyword, another mention here in the paragraph. And just for people that don't know what AGI stands for, we added that in. So see how we took that out of the sentence, so we got the keyword in there? So you're going to work a little SEO magic. This is the human touch. And of course, if you want to share this tutorial with your writers, by all means do so. So here's what else this GPT bot will do. It will and you notice that whenever I gave it the transcript, we didn't give it a focus keyword. That's because sometimes, even though we have this framework and we want to think about these 4 steps whenever we are using AI, you want to think less is more when you're using a trained bot. More is more when you're using a straight LLM, meaning you're prompting, you're doing the prompt training, all that good stuff. But whenever you're using a trained bot, you have to realize it's working with a ton of commands in the back end. Oh, optimize for the keyword. Oops, that's the wrong keyword. It's AGI by 2025. So let's drop in that keyword in there. That little tool I just popped down is called Copy Clip for Mac. I love that tool. All right, so here we go. Beautiful little meta and a meta title. These things are very important. Make sure you or your writers never skip this part. Meta titles, meta descriptions with the keyword. I've seen that boost SEO on a site by 75%. My writing agency back in the day, we did a project where all we did was metas for a site, and it dramatically increased their rankings. Okay, and then our URL slug is always the keyword. Keep it that simple. If you can't make it the keyword, try to make it as close to the keyword as you can. All right, so we're going to go ahead and save this draft because it's looking awesome. If we hit 70, I'm happy with that. That's usually good enough for me. We're going to grab this video. We're going to drop it in. Drop it right in. If you have a video, that video is by you, you absolutely want to put that in there. And now we're going to do something very important that you can never skip before you publish, and that is set the featured image as well as the category. So this is obviously an AGI post. Bam, very clear. For the featured image, what we're going to do is we are going to grab, let me just throw all these in a folder real quick. We were doing some thumbnail selfies. All right, so what we're going to do is grab that thumbnail and we're going to title it again with the keyword. Okay, don't miss this step. Very important. Labeling matters so much to geo, not just SEO. Hear that again. Your labeling of data matters so much to geo as well as SEO. You're helping train the LLMs every time you label a file. Label those files, people. Label those files, okay? If I can make an acronym, what acronym would that be? LTF, label those files. That's how important this is. You need to remember that. Tattoo that on your arm. Label those files. I'm serious. It's that important. This could help your whole site get found as a whole in LLMs. If you publish hundreds of posts and every single image has the file name as the keyword, you're doing something 99% of marketers aren't even thinking of. Okay, you're helping train the LLM on data. All right, so we've got our featured image, which is so incredibly important. I hope I overstressed that. We've got great content, and it's at a 74 on our our Rank Math SEO score. We've got our meta title, meta description. Our content is almost 1,000 words long. We're going to hit publish. Bam, that sucker just went live. And how long was this tutorial? And how much less time would it have been if I wasn't talking the whole time? All right, so let me show you something else, because SEO content takes you far. Authority content takes you even further. Let me show you what I mean. By authority content, I mean the things you post from social media, LinkedIn, X, YouTube. That's your YouTube descriptions and headlines. Your X posts, formerly called tweets. Your LinkedIn posts, which I also take those to Meta, and I make posts on Meta as well. So let me show you something. This tweet had 600 impressions, 27 likes. Let's go down. This tweet, 500 impressions, 700 impressions, 300 impressions, 700 impressions. This one, 4,000 impressions, 42 likes, getting more views by the minute. Claude wrote every single one of those. I didn't write a single word. Let me show you something else. My YouTube descriptions and titles. Sam Altman, we know how to build AGI by 2025. 12,900 views 7 hours ago. Look at this description. Could AGI be here in a shocking new interview? Let me tell you something. The YouTube script for this video, 20-minute video, which I riffed off of. I never read scripts word for word. The YouTube title, the YouTube description. So 3 things there. The YouTube script that I riffed off of, the YouTube title, YouTube description, all written by Claude. I didn't write a single word. This LinkedIn post, I hope you guys are paying attention. This is incredible stuff. This LinkedIn post, 2,500 impressions. None of this content has ever had a penny of ads on it. Not my LinkedIn, my Twitter, none of those tweets I showed you. Not my YouTube channel. Nothing here on LinkedIn. Nothing's been sponsored. I just want to show you the power of good organic content. 100% Claude. 100%. I can't believe this. Can't believe this. All right, so here's how we did that. I could sit here and just not say anything because I'm just in shock that we're even here. Okay, so here's how we did that. Authority content. I just showed you how to do amazing SEO content with my chatbot, my custom GPT. I'm going to show you Claude Projects, which is an absolute game changer for thought leadership content. So in my Claude Projects, I've got 3. I've got a book I'm writing. That's an entire Claude project. It is writing chapter by chapter. It analyzed my past books. I uploaded one of my past books. I said, learn this style. And we are now writing the entire book with Claude. And it's pretty freaking good. I just need to flesh out more content and work on prompting it. That's another video. But let me show you copywriting, okay? And it's doing SEO content as well. But I think GPT is a little bit better at that. So copywriting. Oh my goodness, I've had it do everything. I've had it develop a Facebook post. I've had it develop LinkedIn content, X content, right? So here's what we did. We trained it. We trained it on at least 3 to 4 posts. And this doesn't have to be your content. This is the beautiful part. If you're doing this for a client, this could be content they love. Hear that again, content they love. Most clients out there that need to hire marketing agencies, that need to hire people like you, and I'm going to bet maybe even you, are not writers. You're not going to have a wealth of history to pull from like me, right? I'm the rare person that's the entrepreneur, the teacher, the educator, the writer, the speaker, the doer, the filmer. Don't ask me why. I like to punish myself. Anyway, so chances are you or the person hiring you that you're learning this skill for isn't a writer. You're going to find out what content they love, what content you love, if this is for you. Go paste that content as training data for your Claude project. You're going to start a Claude project. Let me show you how simple it is. Okay? It's this simple. You're going to name it your copywriting, and you're going to say, help me write thought leadership posts for X, LinkedIn, name the other platform. I recommend 3. Maybe it's YouTube. Maybe it's Instagram. Pick 3. All right. So once you've done that, you're going to create that project, and it's going to live just like mine. Then you're going to add project knowledge. I don't even have any custom instructions, which you can set if you want very specific things happening. But I like it to read the data rather than read a prompt. I get better results. Okay. Facebook post. I fed it 1, 2, 3 posts. Yep. This one's super short. And it didn't look like this when I pasted it. It was literally just copy paste in a Word doc. So it pulled from the Word doc and it threw in its own formatting. So don't worry. You literally just need copy and paste in a Word doc and upload it. LinkedIn, same thing. Pick 3 posts that I really liked that are performing really well. Trained it on that. And again, this doesn't have to be your content or your client's content. It could be content you like. And I'll tell you right now, if you pick viral, awesome content, it's better than you picking your own content if your content has crickets. Okay, X posts, my favorite 3 posts that have done really well, performed really well. YouTube descriptions, same thing, my top performing or a competitor's top performing YouTube content. Then we gave it this, 100 viral post training data. With this lesson, you're going to get this as a little ebook. You're going to upload this as well to your Claude project because this is some secret sauce that trains Claude on how to be an awesome copywriter. Okay, that is background information that's gold. We're going to give that to you with this lesson. Now I've trained it on my original thoughts. So two directions here we're sticking within whenever we build a Claude project for a copywriting super bot, which is what this is. One direction, you got to train it on the type of content to develop awesome viral content that you like in your niche. And then we've even fed it more, some actual training data. Here's how to write viral content. All right, all the next posts are my original thoughts from YouTube videos. What we did is we just downloaded those videos as captions, bam, uploaded it. So I just got some captions. I use sonics.ai. I'm going to give you that here in the browser, sonics.ai, to upload all my videos and produce closed captions. And then I can download those captions as Word docs and train data. And then you can also use, if you have YouTube videos that already exist, you can use that little Chrome add-on I showed you, completely free, GLASP. Then you'll be able to click this button that opens up ChatGPT that gives you your whole transcription, and you're going to take that transcription, not the summary, right? The transcription. Stop the GPT from writing. Take that whole transcription, put that in a Word doc, and upload that into your Claude project. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of my best YouTube posts, and I'm going to keep adding those because that is my original thoughts. I want it to learn on that. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to blow your mind right now. Because we've trained it, right? We've given it everything it needs to know to write a great post for all these formats. And then we've given it our original thoughts. We can say this and get content generated this good. All right. So I'm going to say, write an optimistic post for LinkedIn. This is my copywriting bot. That's what I call this project. Write an optimistic post for LinkedIn about the opportunity that exists in the AI age. How, if you're not an early adapter or a first mover, you get left behind. Make it super actionable and awesome so we can get some first mover leads from it. All right, there we go. So now it's processing. It will take more than a few seconds because we've given it so much background data and it's analyzing that, all right? So look at this, look at this. So one of the captions that I uploaded has a specific story in it. It just pulled that story when it developed this content. This is a specific story from a phone call I had with a client. Look at this hook. The age of abundance is here and it's moving exponentially faster than 99% of people realize. Real case study, real example from a client call I had, but here's what most miss. The opportunity isn't just in. So let me tell you something. This is ready to go. I would literally copy and paste that to LinkedIn now with a really good image because it's that good. And let's just see what that starts to look like. Okay, so we just got to do some nice little formatting. I would add a few little, but that's just adding my style. And that's the thing you want to do every time you post content that your superbot writes. And I'm telling you, a Claude project is a superbot when you train it on your background thoughts. And we're talking authority content, right? So here's something interesting. It came up with a better way to get engagement for leads than I would have thought of. Because typically I'm like, read the first comment for our call, our free consultation link. But it actually said, drop a comment if you want to learn more about being a first mover, which is going to encourage engagement. And then from there, I can reply and say, here's a link to book a call. So that's pretty powerful. So this is awesome. I would literally just add an image. And for me, you know, I took some selfies. I just take some selfies in my office. Like, it's that simple. You know, I'd probably pick a normal one where I'm smiling and looking somewhat professional. Good to go. Good to go. And that's an awesome piece of content. We did that without any time at all. And we can keep doing that over and over with our copywriting superbot. You just want to remember, every time you have an awesome new little nugget of gold with the original thoughts in it, you want to capture that, upload it as a doc in your project knowledge. Bam. And if you run out of project knowledge, just start another project. Keep going. Keep adding. It will reference and learn. All right. So I hope I've really blown your mind with the capabilities that are possible with a single LLM these days. I've blown my own mind learning this process. Like I said, all the content you ever see that I'm putting out now is by my bot, my SEO content blog post writer, or it's by Claude, my super copywriting bot that I call my Claude project. So with those two tools that I've trained, right? These are trained tools built with the LLMs themselves. We can achieve literally everything we ever needed to with content. And that is an absolutely beautiful thing. So we've got the link straight to my GPT. I'm going to add that in this lesson. You're going to want to use that. Please use this. Put it to great use. It's as simple as everything I showed you. Give it to your writers, have them use it, and then think about all the steps we talked about. Think about this framework, but also towing that line of not overtraining a well-trained bot, right? Claude project, it was so simple to get great content because we've trained it. The Claude bot, the ChatGPT, GPT bot we've built, we've back-trained this bot on how to write really good SEO content. And then you really just need to spot check it, just like we did. And you need to pay attention to the things that are very important, like the labeling of content. I cannot stress that enough. Have whoever's on your team helping you develop content watch this as well. They need to do the same thing. Any custom images you develop and you add to posts, same thing. Name those. And that will help the LLMs scrape any kind of data you put together and start to love your site and love your data, because you are one of the few marketers actually taking the time to label things and do things correctly. All right, I hope that helped. This is one of many amazing videos we're going to add in the R&D labs here in First Movers School. I can't wait to have you part of this journey and continue blowing your mind with the possibilities of AI today. So this is just the beginning. I'll see you here in the labs.